Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to well, this
James wants a cup of coffee.
yeah, like
this you would probably actually like the taste of this cinnamon hazelnut.
Well, anyway, this video is not going to be the most pleasant video. Yeah. So I shared a post on Facebook of this athlete that was murdered by the police, and one of the cops has been charged with something concerning that murder, and somebody else shared that on Facebook, and the person said something to the effect of, well, the person's charged, let's see if they actually take it to trial and convict him and everything, which they probably won't do. And it reminded me of something. A whore, ex-girlfriend of mine, her nephew and one of his friends were murdered by an off-duty 20-plus year veteran detective of the San Antonio Police Department. Shot in the back. They were laying in wait, which is illegal, and they shot the two kids in the back. Now, I will tell you this much. Those two kids were punks. In my opinion, there's not I'm not going to grieve too much for their loss. Especially knowing the kind of family they came from, or that one of them came from. At the same time, the cop, he was charged, he did go to trial, and he was found not guilty. He shot them in the back. That's murder. The one thing I will say in the defense of those two kids is, hey, I wasn't the best kid growing up either. I got in trouble, but I don't do those things anymore. So, those two kids, they weren't killing people. They were breaking car windows and stealing stereos or something. What should have happened is they should have been arrested. I'm like, my gosh, you're a detective, a 20-year veteran. You could have done something other than shoot him in the back. So anyway, what I want to say is, I called her a whore, which is what she was and probably still is. And so she sent her son to threaten me. She didn't send her son to threaten me because he's a punk. Her son and two of his friends came over trying to intimidate me. Well, I called the cops. Her daughter is married to a San Antonio police officer. Well, when I talked to the cops, they were like, we don't care if her daughter's married to a San Antonio police officer. Basically, they knew what kind of people I was dealing with. And there's one thing I would go get, but you don't want to see what I'm wearing. But Jeremy, I'd like to see you come up here. You think this is the only gun we have in the house, bud? You weren't a man, you were a punk. You couldn't come and deal with me one-on-one. At one point, you even had your grandmother come.
Oh, God.
I'm like, your grandmother who could barely walk?
Like he's going to be afraid of her.
Yeah, I'm like, what's your problem, boy? But, yeah, come on. You want to fuck with me? Come to me one-on-one. You're not willing to deal with me one-on-one because you're a punk. And frankly, it had nothing to do with you. It had something to do with me and your whore of a mother. It had nothing to do with you and me. But why don't you deal with me one-on-one? Let me tell you something, punk. I have more experience than you. I've been around a lot longer than you. I've probably been in a hell of a lot more fights, one-on-one fights, than you have, because you're not a man. A man would go one-on-one with somebody. You won't go one-on-one with somebody. But yeah, come up to my house. Like I said, don't think this is the only gun in the house, bud. But see, with this, I just take you out from a distance with this. I wouldn't even fuck with you. I just, I see you from 1,000 yards away, and I'd take care of you. And do you think the cops up in this area are going to give a damn about you or your loser family? Honestly, do you think? Come on now. You're a punk. Your whole family are losers. You're a bunch of drug addicts, drunks, gangbangers. You're as gangbangers, you're no different than the police. Do you realize that? You're no different than the police. Yeah, you hate the police, so you hate yourself. But the police up here, for some of the police up here, especially in our town, they're not assholes. Although our former chief might have been one, but who do you think the police up here are going to listen to? Us, who they know? Me, who they know?
Are you some asshole who wanders in town?
Yeah.
Thinking you're going to cause trouble?
I still want you to stand up and pretend, at least, to be a man. I just saw a picture of you because I was getting a link to that page, that memorial page for Darlene's nephew. And I was sharing it with somebody. And there was a picture of you. Your eyes are so bloodshot and swollen and red. You're stoned out of your mind and you're flipping people off. You think that that's good or decent or...
You're a dumbass.
You're a dumbass and a loser. The issue was between your mother and me, not you and me. But you made it between you and me. Come on. Come on. Come on. You won't come up here. You'll act tough. You'll act tough with your buddies. You won't go one-on-one with anybody. And like I said, this right here, I'll take you out from 1,000 yards, and we won't have anybody to worry about. Your uncle, member of the Bandidos, I'll take him out while he's driving his motorcycle down the highway. Wouldn't be hard to do. And like I say, you think this is the only gun in the house? Boy, let me tell you something. I've lived on 3 continents. I've lived in more countries than that. I've been in more fights one-on-one, mano a mano, than you have, because you're a punk. You can't go one-on-one with anybody. You got your grandmother and your niece, or not your niece, your grandmother and your female cousin. What a loser. That's all I have to say. Bye, punk.